my feeling on it. Like, but yeah, it is a little bit of like double dipping, but it's an interesting thing. It's like when I didn't charge money, no one would come for treatment.
Well, you have to charge money.
You have to live.
It has to be like energy exchange and stuff.
But all the gurus say that you gotta do it for free.
No. One guru says that.
You do say that, except Sadhguru and Osho. Osho's like, fuck that, bro!
I need a Rolex.
I want a fat emerald on there that costs about 50 racks just for the fucking emerald. I'm gonna just make it happen. I don't want to be able to read the time, bro. Yeah, and Sadhguru, they're like, yo, Sadhguru, you're balling. He's like, yeah, dude. He's like, why not? Like, why aren't you supposed to, like, a lot of ways? I don't buy anything. And I literally don't have a place to live. Like, I'm not, what am I gonna buy something and put it nowhere? Which is part of, for me, is like I'm in a really transient phase right now where like I'm making money, but it's just, this little room is gonna become, they're gonna rent this out. You know what I mean? Like building the stuff I'm buying is for the family. A lot of money goes straight to them. I don't fully know this yet. I'm slowly building up their little thing for helping me in this time, for like feeding me, housing me. It's sort of like here you go, and then after. It's kind of cool. All right, what's up, y'all? We're back in action. I don't know who I even sent the stream out to, but such is life. I'm not perfect. Welcome if you're here. Thank you. If you're from the people that when I used to stream, reach out. But okay. So, give me questions.
I don't remember. Sorry. I'll get it.
See if it comes up. That's okay. I'll go with some questions that were asked recently. One of which was about shaking. So there's multiple ways to purge the body. And one of the ones is shaking. There's this particular state of meditation which brings up feelings of ecstasy. So the short, simple version of it is that ecstasy seems to be a state where the body's energy field is so energized that the fields below that, which are the mind and the emotions and the physical body, become super excited, in which things like tears will start rolling down the cheeks, the body will shake and convulse, there will be sounds can come out of it, people will orgasm, and the feeling on one level can be incredibly positive. It can also be incredibly negative. This is part of the purging process. I've recently heard of this state known as shunya. Sadhguru teaches shunya. It's the final course with a minimum, I think, of 12 months of dedicated practice. One is allowed to, with strict rules on that, your diet is selected. You must, I think you have to do at least 4 hours of yoga, specific yoga practice every single day without fail in order to be eligible for shunya. In which case they take you through a process of this purging. You're not allowed to talk about it. I was set up on that path and do it. I sort of rejected, but so when the energy gets to a certain state, which we hear about in these mythical stories, particularly of Shiva, known as the destroyer, right? The highest god in Hinduism is actually destruction. It's not creation, which is an important factoid. Shadow work ultimately seems to be the most powerful thing, ultimately. But if you're only destroying, it's not a very optimal world probably to live in. It's about balance, if you will. Whatever you want to interpret that as. But anyway, so Shiva, as they say, when he first started teaching yoga, what we now call yoga, he was in so much ecstasy that his body just became still. It became just solidly still. For those who experience this, it's so intense in the body that if you move, the feeling is you will die. If you move, you can't even think. Like if you try to think, it feels like you're gonna fucking explode. So that state, which is ineffable, is the meaning unable to be described. I'm describing the process. I'm not describing what it's like inside of it, what the actual feeling is inside of that. Many have tried, as they say. He was in this state, and he was in that, they say, 7 years, in which 7 people, so the story goes, stayed to witness this, waiting for stillness.
7 years of stillness.
This is a grand story. Those of us who are on the road know that 7 years is a long fucking time. But there's lots of stories. To get in, I'm going to share that part, I'm going to share the practical parts in a second. So they say 7 years of stillness, in which those 7 people that stayed were they wanted to know what gave this man this ability. How could he, in a world of suffering, could he feel this way? As like this ecstasy. They said he was dancing before he went still because he couldn't. He was dancing just vividly, and he was glowing, like his energy field was like glowing. And then he went into this stillness, and they waited, and after 7 years, he started to move. When he started to move, it was so intense, they said, that the only thing, and it was in my experience, well, the only thing you can do when you leave that is shake. It becomes this, the initial is this stuff like this, and it becomes this really vibrant, in my experience, moving style, which is known as they call ecstatic dance, which has now been rebranded by the modernists as a paid experience without shoes on. Basically, we don't talk. But he went to this dance, and so they asked him, they said, will you teach us this? Like, will you teach us how to live like this? In which his response was, no, just drink of me. Just drink of me. So, and in turn, as there's the following story, which many of us know, where they went out and taught yoga to the world in these different parts, blah 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 blah. This is all like myth, if you will. Sadhguru says this is true. I know it's far out, but I'm going to say that I back it from my own experiences living in an ashram at the time I was there. I feel in my soul that this is true. There's something that I experienced in there, which maybe I'll talk about at some point, but to me, this seems as though Sadhguru was directly able to tap into one of those 7 people, which is involved in his process, why he has so much ability right now to do what he does. It seems as though he tapped into one of them, has been chosen as a vessel to enact something, maybe for one of those 7 people process. The practical aspect of this is in short, because these myths and stories, we've all heard all these things, right? We've heard these time and time again. And honestly, they frustrate me a bit, but I'm sharing them now because it just feels like it's important. Of the other side of this, and to know that a lot of what seems as though is taught as yoga and spirituality is not what it was originally. in that they say this original person, a lot of it was an intense thing that you couldn't avoid. It wasn't something you like tried to pursue. It pursued you at such an intensity that even if you ran, it would find you. It would find you anywhere, and in whatever way that it could. We, Otherwise, a lot of suffering, right? In my experience, or you can speak on this, is if you try to run or hide, even unconsciously,
sooner or later, so basically, you can't hide forever. Or maybe you can, but you just kind of lose the quality of life of your experience. You're feeling numb. Or you're just feeling mostly like neutral and you think it's okay, but you're gonna go to the positive spectrum and feel like happy and ease and just going by. Nothing's touching you. For me, it was like that.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's like you're numb is an interesting thing. I'm gonna touch on that. So a few things I've values when you go numb. And I think this is where the naughty system, which we've all seen, it's just this, you see in this ancient thing. I'll just show it for a moment because you guys don't have wide angle. Oh, it's been literally facing the other direction the whole time. Let's go. That's the magic of it. All right. So it's been literally showing the coffee.
Oh, it's a good garden.
Doctor, well, no, it's been here. It's been literally been nothing. It's all audio. This is, I trust at this point. So that was the naughty system we just showed. The naughty system seems to be when people have tapped in their energy field, tapped into points where energy can restrict. And I'm going to go into this a little bit deeper, but when she says you go numb, this naughty system was a system that very detail-wise described that process. Many of us have taken from this and developed things like Chinese medicine have come from this, as they say, and the sense of knowing the meridians, of knowing, okay, left is receiving, right is giving, left leg is grounded, left arm is from people. These systems seem to have all come, as they say, I'm not really sure, from this original Nadi system, which came from the rishis in the days. So you go, no.
Oh, yeah. So you're not suffering. It's not like you're in pain constantly. Mostly, for me, it was like I wasn't feeling much. No good, no bad. And then my health started to give up. So I started to get some pain here and there, and go from there. I had a point kind of understood that I'm fucked. It was like 3 or 4 months after my dad died. We had cancer, and it was like a full process, and it was a tough year before that. So it was like really, really tough. And I had my birthday party, and my friends they took me out dancing. Usually it's like our favorite scene, and we go crazy. I was there and I was dancing, but I understood that I don't feel any excitement inside. Like they have, I don't drink, so I was sober and all, but usually it's okay for me, I still can have a little fun. But yeah, there, and I was kind of trying to have a good time, but inside I haven't felt anything remotely like it used to a couple years ago. So that's when I understood that something's going the wrong way, basically. And it was like almost a year. It was more than a year. Now I feel really different. But it's very soon to us. For almost a year I was shut from this fun and positivity and emotions. Yeah.
Lucky, it took me more than a year. I lived in that bullshit for so long, dude! So long! Well done. Well done. Okay. So like a numb, like you just can't enjoy it. Even if you have it, there's no excitement about it.
Yeah. Inside.
It's interesting, there's a guy named Bashar. If you don't know about Bashar Talks, it's a channel entity, and you can find him on YouTube. He's free. Instagram, TikTok, all that. He talks about how the key director of life is to do that which creates the most excitement in the moment. So it's funny that you felt no excitement versus when you watch Bashar, he's super excited. Like this guy is blitzed excited all the time. He's just like 10. So I find that interesting. Okay, so shut down. I'm gonna just share a little bit because I had someone in here earlier that lived a dream life. And by society's understandings, very high budget, invited into exclusive parties in like high-ranking cities, all of the things that you hear about, like that many of us fantasize they were living, and they're now transitioning out of that. And so it's an interesting thing that I'll share it this way: is that hell is the place where you have everything you want, but you can't enjoy any of it. So it's a sadistic thing, which most people are still chasing hell. This is partly why I don't treat everybody, because if you're still chasing hell, I'm not the one. If you're still looking to go, you want to be on the way back. Otherwise, my treatments are going to be too brutal. You just won't make it. Yeah, as my buddy from Texas said, he said they're still swimming towards the bottom. The best thing you can do to help them is kick them in the ass. Which is sort of brutal. This is Zen. Zen does this. Osho was phenomenal at this, yes. You call it the Zen slap. You come in and be like, well, my friend, how do you know you're high and spiritual? He's like, I don't know. You know, he's like, how do you, you're here? Fuck, that's all I know. You're paying me. And they're like, oh, well, and he would just get them so angry. Anger is such a powerful emotion. It's written off now, but anger will push you towards the bottom so fast if you just fester in anger. They can also get you towards the top. But it's really good at getting people towards the bottom. So it's not talked about much in spirituality today, but Zen was an art of this kind of thing, of just punishing people and kicking them when they're down at the exact right moment. Right when they don't want it, you just fucking kick them again. They're like, no! And it sort of shifts. It's part of what we do here, for those of you who are here. And it's sort of the art of Zen. All right, I'm having my eggs. Any thoughts or questions from all of them?
Yeah. So the question is, like here it's easy because you kind of help us to release some of these emotions, and processing is what we should do, and you kind of help in just release it. But how people can start this process by themselves, or they just can't?
Sadhguru talks on this. As Sadhguru says, he says, live as intensely, as involved as you can. Because if you're trying to avoid something and you just crank the volume knob to a 10, you're gonna find it. You're gonna run into it. if you're going full throttle, just live it. Even the things that you think you're not supposed to do, be watchful on this. In modern times, you have to promote culture, or whatever. You gotta like put an asterisk. But yeah, I mean, listen to fucking loud music. Drink 5 cups of coffee one day. You know, like if you're running from it, you're gonna smash right into it because we think it's far away. This is the illusion that we have. Same with the gal said earlier, is that we have this illusion that our thing is this hidden thing that we have to find in the world. It's literally right here. It's right here, and we're going, I don't see that, right? And it's not necessarily our fault. But if you live intensely, you're gonna hit it. You're just gonna fucking run into it. So listening to music that gets you very emotional, some form of a drug, caffeine, marijuana are some more commonly acceptable ones. There's many others I'm sure that you're aware. Sex is commonly used. I don't recommend it right now because it's really fucked up. We're in the Kali Yuga, and in the Kali Yuga we're in like the most fucked up phase. So if you get 2 fucked up things and you put them together, there can be a lot of growth, but there's a lot of cost. It's a very high cost. Versus if you take mushrooms and sit in a closet, you can probably get a lot of growth in that with a lot less cost. Having conversations, people you trust, is a conduit where you gotta trust them because you want to run into the things that you aren't aware of. That's part of the trick. And so like I call my best friend and we talk about things and we have developed this thing of ruthlessness that if one of us is ready to grow, the other will wait until that moment in the conversation. We'll talk about shit and we'll just kick each other. And so we'll have, like I did on my last call, we're things, blah, blah, you know, we're just having that call and then I'm like, dude, I've been growing so much, like it's amazing. I just messaged my mother happy birthday. And I'm sharing this excited, like I'm winning, right? This is that thing, like you gotta crank the volume, I'm like, I'm winning, and he's like, oh no. Which I know in our language is, you're a dumbass. So he immediately, the moment it came out of my mouth, he's like, you're a dumbass. Which, well, for me, kicks me in. So like going like, oh shit. So I'll speak more on that, but that's a useful one. Exercise. Go out and move. Surfing's a really good one. Because you have to face the ocean. You have to face something that's going to kick you in the ass for you.
That's why I don't like it.
Yeah. You gotta respect that.
Fasting is a really good one. Vipassanas have become very popular in this era in particular. Which is like a silent retreat, essentially.
What do you recommend then? Vipassana and yoga.
I'm going to Vipassana in April.
Oh, whoa.
I already signed up. They've already accepted me.
Walk a live.
Brutal. Because you literally, there's no running then. You just wait.
Yeah.
And you have to just wait.
Stay attend that. Yeah, stay.
Yeah, sure. I was so afraid of it for so many years. And it's like I was so afraid to meet this point where you're just completely helpless and you just, I don't know. But I guess I met it last time on our last session. It was similar feeling or something. And but I already signed up before that. So I was kind of feeling that right now I can do it. So we'll see. I won't leave even if I really want to, that's for sure, because I'm not the kind of person. I will suffer through it if I need to.
It's a good attitude. I'll tell you what, it's never enough. Once you're in there, there's nothing that'll carry you through. You've got to fucking fall through it. Like you just got to let yourself get kicked.
Yeah.
Like, this is my experience in any case. You've done a lot more. You got at least 10 under your belt, yeah?
Wow. Oh.
Yeah, that's what I mean, I was running these numbers. So you have 6 hours sleep and 2 hours of off time, let's say meals, bathroom per day?
Depends where you go. You go to like Candy, they're the strict. They're really strict. You're up. You know, they come and get you in your room, get in the hall. You can go to in Australia or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you're not as in the morning before the 6:30, so you can sleep an extra 2 hours in the morning. But I highly recommend Candy. It's do that for the kids.
Now going here and the States are really strict. Okay. Bring their own guys.
Yeah, sure. But the sleeping thing?
So roughly 8 hours a day is not spent in isolated black meditation, correct?
Oh, you're in the hall. So
Yeah.
you got the girls there, you got the men there, you got all separate living quarters. And yeah, when you start off in the hall, after the first one, then you get allocated a cell. You can do in the cell, and then you do 3 hours group sit. So Adiktan, which is like don't move, and for 1 hour. I like to call it one moment, because if you say 1 hour, it's too intense, you know, it's just moment after moment after moment after moment, it makes me look forward to being drought, you know. But yeah, it's just pretty much the way. And then you do like a discourse, and you do a video at the end, and you laugh to yourself and close your eyes. What if we're all gonna miss that?
So the reason I bring this up is, let's say 12 hours of meditation per day.
I think it's 10.
10, yeah.
10. So you 10 hours of this is Vipassana. If you do 10 hours of meditation and you do a 10-day Vipassana, you just cranked 100 hours under your belt. Many people in the world have never done in their lives. So he's done 900 hours just in Vipassanas alone.
That's why I highly recommend it, because it's just like, gives you a break. You go, oh yeah, I'm going to take 10 minutes, whatever, and then it breaks his back. And you get straight into this good awareness.
Have your life changed, like, after you left every time? Have you felt a significant change in something?
Absolutely. Hardest thing I've ever done in my life was much more. I never like thought to myself, I'm going to do this. It was just, I was in a hostel and someone was saying that the pastor this, the pastor that. So, right, well, I'll ring him up. They said, we just had a cancellation. I was like, right, we got there. And after I went through all the stuff, they're like, has anyone got any questions? So I was like, I've got one. But I never had questions. I was like, well, what do you actually do here? They're like, you don't know? I was like, well, give me a hint. And they're like, oh, dude.
No, I do respect this style of living.
This is exactly what I'm talking about, though. Is you can't try to get there. You've got to fall into it. This
Well, I
is the
didn't have
thing.
all the shit in my mind,
Right.
this and that and the other. I was just like, it's like, you don't talk for 10 days, you meditate 10 hours, you get this meal, and I said, look, just give me the penthouse suite and we'll be all good. And the bloke's like, going, I've got the room for you. And I was like, right, and he just gave me like this room with a concrete floor, and I was like,
Oh, fuck, dude. Fuck.
And I'm like, I need to buy myself a blanket.
Oh,
And this
no,
and
yeah.
that and stuff, and you just like,
I mean, this is my opinion, is that I recommend using whatever it takes for you to be able to make it through the early stages.
You can't have
And
it.
and this is, I'm just sharing my opinion. And in spiritual journeys in general, like, try to ease it if you can. Like, in work, once you get it, once you get the go, once you understand, like, then you can go in. For me, I would rather have the blanket in my first run and not use it than live in just an intense suffering that I can't overcome. wishing I would have just brought the fucking blanket for myself.
Yeah, well, bring some jumpers, it gets gone. And like, I the first one, I was just like, having cold showers and that. And then I was just using my sanded shower cubicle. And the last day, and I was just like, holy shit, that one's a hot shower.
Fuck
And I was just like, well, fuck that. I'm going to stay in the cold for the one more day.
Bold, dude.
Yeah.
Some people are more ready. This guy was a fucking mason. He was a bricklayer for years. Just to keep in mind, like, because there's levels to the game. That's a hardcore fucking level. Just forever story. No, you know.
Like they told me I have to buy an alarm clock. And I'm like, who the fuck sells alarm clocks these days? Like, how does it work? I don't remember.
There's a little shop just outside the centre that's got alarm clocks. No.
There probably is.
No, you don't need it. They ding the bell.
Yeah, I hope so. I haven't used alarm clocks since I was like 7 years old. I don't know.
Yeah. It's good not to have, like, for me personally, I think it's like a really good
What's up, y'all?
opportunity just to
What's up, Nava?
literally have a good crack at yourself. You know? There's no distractions, there's no worry about like, oh, you couldn't be here, you couldn't be there, you couldn't do this. It's just like the switch off.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. I felt so tired of all those social things and roles. Like,
They're meaningless, you know.
I would go like now, but I can't because of my work. I cannot just turn it off for 10 days, to wait 2 months at a time.
Yeah, like, I think everything in life is overwhelming if you look at the big picture. At the moment, how is that overwhelming? All there is so many moments strapped together. And it's just like, oh, I can't see people move, not move. Which, yes, we're there for a lot. That's just, a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Being a rapper, I just really want it.
Yeah. Well, you said, give it 3 days. It's all good.
I quit out on my first Vipassana. That's where I was kind of sharing it. I did a 3-day. I didn't know that it was a Vipassana. And this is at a Sri Lankan Buddhist meditation center, one of my first really teachers, Monty Sati. And I didn't know. And he's like, all right, bro, like, this is what we're doing. I had no idea. Similar thing. And it was winter fucking freezing, dude. Now was the part is they wouldn't like turn the heat on. And it was so cold. I didn't bring anything. I didn't know. They provided you a sheet, like, because that's all they use here. So like, here's a sheet, bro. It's fucking frigid. And I couldn't handle it. That was one of the things that really broke me, was that aspect. And so I'm like day 3, I had a full breakdown. Just for the people that do a Vipassana, like I fully broke down. And I went up to the monk, I was like, bro, I'm exiting stage left. He's like, dude, you can't. And he's like, no, dude, like I'm fucking losing my mind. Which is the whole point, now I know this. I was like, I'm losing my mind. And previous me, I came through a very dark portal into this life, and I was like, bro, listen, motherfucker. I'm gonna leave no matter what the fuck you tell me right now. Here are the stipulations for that. And so I was allowed to call my girlfriend to come sleep with me at night, and she brought me blankets. So for me, that was my first Vipassana experience, inadvertently. So it is a moment, and part of it's designed to break you, particularly if you're really ego-driven. That's part of what happens in there. The ego needs stimulation to stay upright. It needs something to feed on. And so when that's taken away, the ego just kind of falls. Osho talks about this. Just drop the ego, as he says. Now, mind you, most people pick it right back up. A week of Vipassana. And all the opportunities come right back. Right? And that's the whole thing, it's a test. So you get to, environment.
You're in a beautiful environment where you've got meditators in there that's been meditating for how long? You people with a teacher, all these energies there to help you. And you get out, you just walk out, floating on clouds, because you're clean as shit. And your mind's connected with the sensation of your body. It's all just very good. You start floating on clouds, and then you go back to your life. And then it slowly wears off, slowly wears off, slowly wears off. Until it clicks.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. It's part of the test. Yeah, you find a method. So other methods, Vipassana is one. For me, what I do in my work is I put on old music from the time the trauma happened. I'll maybe ingest drugs similar to the ones I did at that time. And I'll try to kick myself almost into that state I was in to let it flow out. I oftentimes fast. I'll try to make my system lighter to make myself more available to these memories, if you will. Because if we're just laden, some people watching this are people, right? If you're laden with food, your body's not able to. It's not sensitive to the details, which is where a lot of growth is in the details. You go, oh my God, my ex said, I love you, but I can't do this right now. I thought she said, or he said, I love you, but you're not enough. That's how I heard it. Here's this perk in the Vipassana. Aha. For me, I had to get out and message the person. Sometimes that's not a good idea. But for me, I'll message and be like, yo, I'm sorry I misinterpreted. Might be how you start. You might message and say, I misinterpreted this thing. For me, at this stage, this is more advanced, but at this stage, I just can do that internally. I'll just flip that switch and energetically piece and go, oh, I wasn't seeing things correctly. So I've been listening to Eminem the last week.
Isn't that past and the present, and then sorted?
Okay? I'm gonna grab bananas, you two are alive for a minute. You want pancakes?
Are you gonna make them?
Yeah. Are you having pancakes, guys?
No.
It's not the pancakes I want, bro. It's the energy you're gonna put into it.
Well, you put it like that so nicely. It's like I always started to want pancake too. So I had it.
Yeah. What's your name again?
What?
What's your name again?
Name?
Yeah, name.
Natalie.
Natalie had pancakes too.
She made me eat it like Saturday after the treatment. And I was so out of this whole thing. So I was in no mood for eating anything. She made me eat it.
Cool. It's so cool that you're gonna like dabble into the path of bettering yourself, hey, or losing yourself, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, well, I feel like I've been on this path for like many years, but it was like more like theoretical stuff, not like practical, you know. At least it felt so, because like life's been giving me a lot in this couple of years, and it had an aspect of growth and going for me, and scenes are speeding up, and it's nice. Scary and lots of pain, but it's nice.
Yeah, fear is a good thing, you know. If you got fear, you mean you're going on the right path, you know.
It's funny how it's never what you expect. Like for me, the emotions that came after the treatments, those were not the emotions I would expected. Like I thought that this area of my life is perfect. It's so sought after. It's like great, no problem, no nothing. I expected some other things to come up, and they didn't. But just it's interesting how it works. I wasn't seeing problems when it turned out there were. So.
Yeah, who knows what's around the corner? That's the beauty of it, you know. I think that's the biggest thing what they teach you is just like impermanence, you know. Everything's impermanent, it's subject to change. And for me anyway, it's like the only thing you need to know is just that everything comes from change. Good, bad, so of course makes no difference to us. The rise past the it's up to you just to observe, accept reality as it is. Sableness is really the influence.
The only stable thing, right? That changes a lot.
Your change is stable. It's changing. Therefore, it's stable.
It's going to be good.
What do you use for it?
You know, I do like the change. It's just that some things are already kind of nice and I want them to change. I have to and bring some friction and tension and pain ultimately.
I guess the only reason why people want to change is because of attachment.
Yeah.
And it's three things: clinging, craving, and attachment. Trap us.
Yeah.
It's just let go of these things and it's easy. Changing habit to acceptance. Easy said and done. That's why you sit there for so long. You know, to understand change. When you're in like the most intense pain, and you're just going, oh, this is going to stay forever. You know?
Yeah.
There'll be like an undercurrent vibration. Surface, it's like this intense pain. And you're a little bit of this. But slowly, I've had it in pain. Wonderful. That's the goal.
Funny how when you get the hang of it, emotional work, it's not really scary. For me, I'm just like, okay, Max, bring it on again. I'm ready to find out some other deep shit inside me. And feel a lot of pain and be miserable and get it over with, essentially.
That's a good attitude. How do you use that kitchen too? Or is that your one?
That's mine. Navarathan said, welcome to Sri Lanka.
It is. So we move into the other room for the pancakes.
Why not?
Where does the phone go? Are you good with phone placements?
Yeah.
Okay. Come on, pancake, baby.
Yeah, this is might be just perfect after you show me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. All the ants have claimed our plates, huh? What did we find out? What's the learning? One or two, and we're learning.
That's one thing, your comments.
What am I feeling? It's live. So you want air. You're running on air. Pancakes, you want honey with it.
So that normally is simple as a coconut.
Is it? It's not.
Oh, that's the other one.
You don't want to go to coconuts? I'll look you up.
I thought he was coming in.
I thought you did you message him? Yes, that number was sent by the dude, and that was to you for you to solve your needs, not to me discussing with me. Okay, we got one plate left, so I'm showing you. I'm gonna make this the honey show. Okay, come on. Oh no. Alright. So you're chitty chatting about your own journey? Feeling better?
yeah.
This is one of the ways for me that I've helped this stuff flush. Is that alternate between eating and not eating. I'm doing the thing. Talking to you. Close friends you vulnerable with. Part of the reason I stream and put content out on my Facebook is that's vulnerability. It makes me push into that space. And then because of the way that I should, I think I should. Then I eat food, because that's a chemical thing. Even if I wasn't hungry, I felt great. I didn't want to eat, but it was like, okay, this is the move right now in order for me to to like fit into the geometry of my life, to do what's being asked of me, is to eat food. Before that, you saw I moved. The first thing it is, I started moving, shimmying around. Okay, is that gonna help more purge come, right? So I had coffee, so I had a bunch of drugs. I peaked. Those are no longer useful. Now I'm riding a come down.
Do you know where you live?
Sharing our feast today. Quite sweet already. Even as included. I'm sweet already. I'm pretty bitter, but it's good. I like bitter. Okay. They're served. Oh, you can eat. Oh, sneak in here. She's been a breatharian for a month. That's what she says right before she eats a lot.
No.
Just
The last couple of days, I am eating this time. Like,
You want something? Really expensive.
Straighten out my feelings.
See you next week, baby.
I guess it's the whole point, right?
But you're just going in there.